kids, catch all the fun and laughter waiting for you on video cassette from Family Home Entertainment. We bring you all the action of the hippest, hottest superhero sensations.
Right on!
They're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in a half shell.
All right!
Join the outrageous excitement as this fab foursome soars your way in their ultra-cool video adventures.
Rock, dudes!
And you've heard all about him. Now see him in action.
You mean?
He's the wacky, wild, mad scientist.
Ah, yes! I love when I remember stuff.
The crazy creator of the zaniest inventions on Earth.
So what else is new?
Enter the lab of the mad scientist. The kook guaranteed to keep you in stitches. And for tail-wagging fun, the huggable Pound Puppies are #1. Share the doggone escapades of Cooler, Bright Eyes, Whopper, Howler, and the rest of the gang as they woof it up down at the Pound in their lovable video adventures. Pound Puppies, the Mad Scientist, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The very best on video cassette from Family Home Entertainment.
Henry, you must know Henry's cat.
You must have seen the movie, you must have read the book. He's a mellow yellow feline, so take a second look. He knows everything about nothing, and not too much about that. So if you know someone who knows what he knows, then you must know Henry's cat.
Henry's cat looked out of the window. Ow, why doesn't something exciting happen? He thought to himself. Hardly had the thought left his mind when there was a on the door. When he opened it, there was no one there. Then, suddenly, someone gave him a big kiss and said, "Oh, this is a kissogram. Happy birthday!" Before Henry's cat could regain his composure, a frightening figure howled, "This is a ghostagram! Happy birthday!" He was wondering what was going to happen next, and he soon found out.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Henry Cat. Happy birthday to you.
What sort of happy birthday is this? Inquired Henry's cat. Oh, it's a joke! It's a joke! For your birthday! Said Chris Rabbit. Oh, it's a funny sort of joke, said Henry's cat. By which I mean it's an unfunny sort of joke. And anyway, my birthday is not till tomorrow, so there. I think we've upset him! I think we've upset him! Said Chris Rabbit. Never had a truer word been spoken. Henry's cat was furious. "Ow, I'll never speak to any of them again, and I'll tell them so right away." Still in a furious mood, Henry's cat took his breakfast of custard and chips and watched television. The programme was about famous film stars in Hollywood who had started off in ordinary jobs. Texas Joe Yonkers, the famous cowboy star, had once been a peanut seller at football games. And Minnie Moomar, the romantic heroine loved by millions, had once been an egg cup tester in a hen factory. Henry's cat had a sudden thought. If they could go to Hollywood and become stars, so could he.
You know that I could be a star, not a freak who isn't unique. With my ultra-perfect physique, I'd show 'em what my talents are. I know that I could be a star. I could sing about anything, just like old Sinatra or Bing. All I need is my guitar. Yes, I could be a star. I could dance with Kenny Lamar if they gave me half a chance. Just watch you now. I could also do the splits, like Stanford on the Ritz. I could be the king of Hollywood, of Odeo-Do-Do. I could be a star, making all my muscles ache, pirouetting in the Swan Lake. Yes, I could stand the pain. You know that I could be a star. Look, show me beyond. I could really hold the screen out. a star.
Henry's cat made a decision. His future lay before his past, and all those friends who had upset him would be forgotten. He wrote a postcard to Hollywood. "Ow, dear Hollywood, I will be arriving soonest. Please have everything ready. Love, Henry's cat." Then, putting on his sunglasses, everybody in Hollywood wears sunglasses, he caught the number 9 helibus to Los Angeles. Unfortunately, no one was there to greet him. Perhaps he had got off at the wrong bus stop. However, he soon saw a film studio and joined a queue of eager-looking extras.
Yeah, we need 2 big ones and a small bouncy one. You, and you. Go and get made up.
Well, Henry's cat had an axe put in his head and arrows and knives stuck in him. He was to be part of a cowboys and Indians film.
Cut. Print it. Next shot. Whoa! Action. Cut. Yeah, great. Next shot.
This turned out to be the death of Lord Nelson. He was told to salute as the ship went down. Henry's cat was just going down for the 3rd time when he was fished out. He flopped down, not knowing what was happening, which was probably just as well, as someone then put a crash helmet on him. Well, he was fired from a cannon, caught by a man on the flying trapeze, who then dropped him onto a slippery floor. A very bewildered, bedraggled and bruised Henry's cat made his way to the film office. The producer gave him lots of money and said,
Hey, great rehearsal, man. Tomorrow we do it for real.
Henry's cat realized that he had gone into the stuntsman's office by mistake.
Oh dear, that's one stunt I won't pull again. I'll have to find fame and fortune some other way.
Well, another way soon presented itself. This looked like just the right sort of thing for expressing Henry's cat's talents.
Okay, everybody. I have all your names on this list. And on this list, I have all the famous stars' names. Over there is a box of clothes and makeup. And the first star is Charlie Chaplin.
They were all so good it was difficult to choose between them.
And their next lookalike is Mickey Mouse.
Again, they were all so good it was difficult to tell them from the real film star. The presenter was just about to announce the name of the next famous film star when he sneezed and dropped his papers. Unfortunately, he read out the wrong one by mistake, and instead of a film star, he called out a contestant.
And the next famous film star is Henry's cat.
Henry's cat just stood there looking bewildered.
And now for the winner. Yes, the winner by a short head and a Is that so? Well, I say he's no film star. I ain't never heard of him.
Well, the presenter didn't want to look silly on TV, so he quickly made up something about Henry's cat.
Well, sir, not only is Henry's cat a fine example of a Henry's cat look-alike, he's also a real Henry's cat in his spare time. And he comes from Europe and England, where he is very famous anonymously because he's shy.
Very soon, everyone in America knew of Henry's cat, to say nothing of Kenny Kidley, the cuddly toy manufacturer.
Hey, listen, everybody. I got this great idea. I'm gonna make Henry's cat look-alike masks. Very soon, everybody in the United States will be wearing them.
Then one day, something terrible happened. Someone had traced Henry's cat's ancestry and discovered he was not and never had been a famous film star. He was immediately arrested for false impersonation of himself and taken to court and had to prove his identity or go to jail. It was a big problem for a small cat. Then he had a bright idea.
Ow, why can't I call all my friends? They know who I am.
The judge thought it was a good idea too, and immediately sent for Henry's cat's friends as witnesses. They went straight into court to identify him.
Can you prove that your friend Henry's cat is in fact Henry's cat and not a look-alike of himself?
Said the judge.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy.
Said Chris Rabbit.
There are lots of look-alikes, but there's only one eat-alike. No one can eat like Henry's cat except Henry's cat. Oh, wow, very well. I want all you Henry's cats to eat a large pudding, said the judge.
Of course, the real Henry's cat was eating long after all the others had begun to feel ill. The proof of the eating was in the pudding. A fatter and happier cat left the court with compensation for mistaken identity. All the newspaper men were there, and people from television. Everybody in Hollywood followed the story. A famous film producer thought the story would make a good film and offered Henry's cat a contract. Oh, that's funny. I came to Hollywood to become rich and famous, but it only happened when my friends came with me. Henry's cat and his friends were photographed with famous stars. They made a film together. All was forgiven. Henry's cat would never leave his friends again. And that is the true story of how Henry's cat became a famous film star. Only the facts have been altered to protect the innocent. Well, they all returned to Europe, England, happier for their experience. Henry's cat got out a look-alike mask and said,
Oh, well, you can fool some of the people all of the time, and all of the people some of the time, but you can't fool friends. Which reminds me, I still have a birthday party to use up.
Henry's cat was watching a very interesting program on television. It was all about famous doctors who discovered cures for rare diseases. There was Dr. Zach McCaskill, who invented a cure for athlete's nose. Dr. Stig Ramsbottom, who invented a cure for the wandering moustache. And Dr. Klaus de Window, who invented a cure for the common headache. The next famous person was Dr. Jill McGringe, who found a cure for falling hair. For many years, people who suffered with falling hair had to walk around with hats over their heads or wear a large net round their necks. In very bad cases, they had to stick their hair down with glue, which was good for the hair, but not so good for the hats. Dr. Jill McGringe invented magnetic hair oil so that the user could catch falling hair on little magnets designed like earrings. This invention made her fortune. In 1857, a very strange thing happened. People walking along suddenly found their feet started to point outwards and then backwards. It was unexplainable and very inconvenient, to say the least. The eminent Dr. Fitzenhausen invented the hop shoe, which kept both feet from turning sideways. He discovered the condition was caused by people putting birdseed in seed cake. This made feet think they were wings. The epidemic was defeated, or rather, defooted, and no more feet got out of hand. Dr. Fitzenhausen died a wealthy man. Another rare disease was the dreaded burps. Here we see Dr. Urkel von Fromp pointing to a patient. This disease could be dangerous in a crowd. Dr. Urkel von Fromp tracked the cause of the burps down to eating too many beans, saying, "Beans means burps," and invented the indigestion tablet, which is regarded as the turning point of civilization as we know it. He was decorated, corrugated, and renovated by the king, and given the George Cross, the Banbury Cross, the Hot Cross, and 2 buns. The first man in history to achieve such a distinction. His invention made him rich and famous. Rich and famous. The words struck home to Henry's cat. Ow, why can't I discover a cure for a rare disease and become rich and famous? As he thought about it, he drifted off into a fantasy and imagined himself as a famous doctor. Dr. Henry's cat, PhD, DSO, and bar. Oh, next patient, please. Sit down and cross your legs, please. Ow, you're just a bit out of tune. Eat some tuna fish with this tuning fork. Why tuna fish? Because it's got scales. Next patient, please. Ah, what's the matter with you? I keep feeling funny. Oh, do you mean funny odd or funny ha-ha? I don't know. It's a bit of both. My hair's gone all funny. And I keep doing this. Henry's cat realized that Mosey Mouse had caught a rare disease known as clownitis, for which there is no known cure. It would get worse. Mosey Mouse would soon become a menace to society. And eventually would be fit for nothing except party political broadcast. It was a fate too terrible to think about. Henry's cat gave Mosey Mouse a TV magazine and said, "Ow, take this and watch the weather forecast 3 times a day after meals. It will dampen your spirits till we find a cure." Henry's cat knew there was no time to be lost. There could soon be an epidemic of clownitis. It was no laughing matter. He sat up day and night, only sleeping between naps, so that he could study all that was known about clownitis. The first known case of this rare disease was found in the rainforests of South America. It was caused by the juice of the sacred mumu fruit, a sort of furry banana. Once a year on Midsummer's Night, it would suddenly become ripe, and with a loud pop, it would scatter its seed. The natives considered it a good omen if they were hit by the fruit. It meant the gods liked you. They would take the fruit back to their village, boil it, and drink the juice. And then they would dance and throw mumu fruit at each other as a sign of good luck. Jungle explorers witnessing this strange rite were mystified. But on being hit by the mumu fruit and tasting its exotic flavor, they soon succumbed to its strange effects. A year later, on Midsummer's Day, both explorers felt funny. Funny ha-ha, that is. And as the mumu fruit ripened 10,000 miles away, its effects tingled in their blood.
Oh, very interesting. It looks as if Mosey Mouse had drunk some mumu juice, because today is Midsummer's Day.
And just to check, he turned on his television set to watch the news. Here is a news flash. It has been reported that an outbreak of clownitis, a rare disease, is sweeping the country. This has resulted in a severe shortage of custard pies, soda siphons, and plastic red noses. And here's another news flash. The Prime Minister says that everything is under control and there is no need to panic. Henry's cat realized there was no time to lose. Things were getting serious. He quickly put on his jungle outfit and caught the first helibus to South America. Henry's cat checked his map. To get to the mumu fruit meant passing through the lost city of Rocky Toki. This was very dangerous, as the sacred gods who guarded the mumu fruit lived there. Luckily, Henry's cat had his disguise outfit. He quickly changed and then crept silently through the jungle until he came to the lost city. There was no sign of life anywhere.
Oh, I expect they're all on holiday. Oh, I'm in luck,
he thought. But just as he was about to unpack his lunch, he was taken by surprise by the natives. They put him on a sacrificial altar in front of the great god, Umbubu, creator of the mumu fruit. Henry's cat looked at the fierce face. It was enough to put anyone off their lunch. The great god spoke. He was saying,
"Cast this yellow infidel who comes to learn our secrets to the gods."
Well, Henry's cat ended up inside the god's head, which turned out to be a huge laboratory. As his eyes got used to the dark, he noticed a strange figure operating a machine. Henry's cat seemed to recognize that face, the evil, leering grin, the maniac's eyes. It struck a chord. He cast his mind back. Yes, it was none other than Rum Baba, the confidence trickster, sought by the police the world over, and now hiding in the jungle. It all started to add up. He quickly hid behind some packing cases and watched carefully. The natives were loading mumu fruit onto the tongue of the god. Then, when Rum Baba pulled a lever, all the mumu fruit tipped into a box, which Rum Baba tipped into the machine. And out the other end came bottles. Henry's cat took a bottle and read the label. It said, Auntie Edna's tomato sauce. Delicious on crisp custard cabbages, marzipan cornflakes and banana soup sandwiches. It sounded just the sort of thing that Henry's cat would eat. He took the top off and sniffed it. It was not tomato sauce at all. It was concentrated mumu juice. This was the source of clownitis. Henry's cat realised that an evil plan was afoot, and Rum Bar Bar was behind it. He was also behind Henry's cat.
My curious little yellow friend, I think I've caught you on the hop.
Henry's cat stamped on Rum Bar Bar's foot very hard.
Ow, I think I've caught you on the hop, Rum Bar Bar,
chuckled Henry's cat. Rum Bar Bar was powerless to stop Henry's cat pouring moo-moo juice into his open mouth. Well, the concentrated juice did to Rum Bar Bar what he had done to others. It was poetic justice. The symptoms of clownitis quickly took effect. Henry's cat wasted no time. He easily captured Rum Bar Bar by getting him to jump through a hoop into a barrel. Then he switched on the machine that made the god work. Looking at his rocky-tocky phrase book, he said,
Ow, ong chong, wigga bong, oochie boochie, boo ba.
which means everybody take the rest of the day off and go to the pictures. Then, searching through Rum Bar Bar's papers, he found exactly what he was looking for. Rum Bar Bar's evil plan to become Master of the World. Rum Bar Bar had discovered a secret cure for clownitis, and with this, he planned to rule the world. Henry's cat examined the plans.
I am the great genius, and here is how I will rule the world. First, I will the moo-moo juice all around the world and other places put. And very soon, all the people, they turn into the clowns. Then the politicians will make fun of the other politicians. And soon, there will be the World War #2 and a bit. The cavalry will make the charge, and the troops will move in everywhere. Parachutists with the soda siphons, and the armies with the tickle sticks. And the whoopee cushions. Then we have the rockets sent all over the places with the supersonic custard tarts. And only I can stop it.
Henry's cat realised he had to work fast to stop the clownitis spreading. He quickly put stamps on each box of clownitis cure and sent them off home, immediately by native mail. Henry's cat had just one stamp left.
Ow, I know where I can stick this one.
Henry's cat put the last stamp on a barrel with Rum Bar Bar in it and posted it off to Siberia. Then, putting on his roller skates, he hurried back through the jungle and was just lucky enough to catch the last helibus home. He arrived back to a hero's welcome. Everyone was soon cured, and Henry's cat became rich and famous, as he had always wanted to be. But alas, it was only another daydream.
Ah, well, at least I haven't got clownitis,
he thought to himself. Today was the day of the great bubble gum blowing contest. Henry's cat faced his opponent. A long-standing score was about to be settled. Chris Rabbit in the opposite corner looked confident. Mosey Mouse, the referee, made an announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is the big bubblegum blowing challenge match between, in the blue corner, Chris Rabbit, bubblegum blowing champion of the world. And the challenger in the yellow corner, Henry's cat. You have one piece of bubble gum each and 3 blows. I want good, clean bubbles and no blows below the belt.
Chris Rabbit and Henry's cat chewed very hard. Then they came out of their corners and blew. The first round goes to the champion, Chris Hot Lips Rabbit. Henry's cat lost the first round. He chewed his gum slowly and deliberately. He had a plan. When Chris Rabbit started to blow, Henry's cat pretended he was about to sneeze. Of course, Chris Rabbit stopped blowing when he saw this. Henry's cat quickly blew a very big bubble indeed and took the second round. "He cheated! He cheated!" cried Chris Rabbit. "He pretended he was going to sneeze and put me off." There's no rules against sneezing. It's one round each, and this is the final and deciding round, said Mosey Mouse. Both contestants were chewing fast. Well, they blew, and they blew, and they blew. Their bubbles were enormous, but at that moment the wind also decided to blow. And they drifted up into the sky like two balloons and sailed away. Then, with two loud pops, their bubbles burst. Now it was not a case of who had won, but who was lost. They both were. "Oh dear, what are we going to do now?" said Henry's cat. "Oh, don't worry. Rabbits are good at finding their way," said Chris, putting his ear to the ground and turning the other ear to pick up sounds. "Oh, have you found something?" said Henry's cat. Yeah, I've got a pine cone stuck in my ear. But there's no need to stare," said Chris. "Oh, look over there," said Henry's cat. There in front of them was a large, dark, spooky-looking castle. Well, when you are lost and far from home, any home looks welcome. So they rang the bell. Said Henry's cat. "Let's come back some other time." But then the door slowly opened, and wondering what to do next when the door slammed behind them. It was very creepy. They heard footsteps approaching. Good evening, my friends. Welcome to my humble abode. It is not a good night for the travel, no? Perhaps you will care to join me. I was just about to partake of dinner. Well, Henry's cat and Chris Rabbit couldn't agree more, especially when they saw all that food. But first, let me introduce myself. I am the Count Rambaba of Paranoia. It is sometimes lonely in this great castle, so pleased to be my guest for the night, huh? Oh, pleased to meet you, I'm sure. I'm Henry's cat, and this is my friend, Chris Rabbit, the champion bubblegum blower of the world, and I am the runner-up. Then it is a great honor to have such distinguished guests. Please to be seated. Well, Henry's cat could hardly wait. He was just about to bite a large jam donut when a vampire bat fluttered down and sank its fangs into the donut and sucked all the strawberry jam out. Don't be afraid. It is just my little friend, rigor mortis. Wow. Henry's cat had hardly got over that shock when a bony hand came out of the custard and snatched away a cherry cake he was about to eat. Then, when Henry's cat tried to take another cherry cake, it just scurried away and hid behind the butter dish. Henry's cat tried to chase it out with a stick of celery, but only succeeded in knocking over the pepper pot. I think we have had enough amusement for one evening, my friends. Allow me to conduct you to your bedroom. The bed was a welcome sight, but the room was old and musty and hadn't been slept in for years. They hoped they would soon fall asleep. Oh, I know, said Henry's cat. Let's have a sleep race and see who drops off quickest. 1, 2, 3, go. But sleep was out of the question. They seemed to see lots of horrible faces floating around in the dark. Oh, dear, said Henry's cat. I think this castle is haunted. What shall we do? Oh, I know, said Chris Rabbit. Let's hide under the sheets. But in the dark, Chris Rabbit fell out of bed and got all tangled up in a sheet. Henry's cat poked his head out to see where Chris had gone, just as Chris stood up. Ah! Well, Henry's cat made for the door. The wrong door, as it happened. Henry's cat rubbed his head. At least the ghost had gone, but his release was short-lived. He found himself in a room full of strange machinery and Count Rumbaba.
Hello, my little yellow friend. You are up early for breakfast. May I be allowed to entertain you for a short while? Please be seated while I fix you a little drink, huh?
Henry's cat was still dazed from his fall. He couldn't think straight. He sat down in the chair. As quick as a flash, the Count pressed a button, and Henry's cat was secured so that he couldn't move.
Well, curiosity killed the cat, as they say. You will now see why I have the castle deep in the forest, away from the prying eyes. You have come just in time for the great experiment. But forgive me, I almost forgot. I offered you a little drink. There, my friend. Has that made you feel better?
But Henry's cat felt far from better.
Oh, dear. You have given me very bad hiccups.
Hiccuped Henry's cat.
So sorry. Please permit me to cure them for you. I have just the thing here.
Well, Henry's cat got such a fright it immediately cured his hiccups.
My little experiment worked. It will make me the fortune. You would like to know what I am up to, huh? Well, I will spill the beans, as they say. Here we have the Mexican jumping bean. And what do I do with the bean? I show you. First, I make them into powder. Then I boil the water so the powder goes around and around, and it comes out here. And here we have the bean juice. And beans means money.
Henry's cat realized he and Chris Rabbit had stumbled on a fiendish plan by a mad genius. And here he was, helpless.
But I am forgetting my manners. You must be feeling lonely, huh? Perhaps you would like your little friend to join you. What's going on? What's going on?
Cried Chris Rabbit.
My little furry friend, you are about to find out. Here is a little drink for you.
Henry's cat saw what was about to happen and shouted,
"Ow! Don't drink it, Chris. Don't drink it. If you do not drink it, I will have to do something unpleasant to your friend. And you would not like that, huh?"
But Chris Rabbit was not called Hot Lips for nothing. He had been chewing some bubble gum to keep his nerves steady. He quickly blew a very large bubble. Count Rumbarbar gaped with amazement. The bubble burst and knocked the drink back into his open mouth. He was getting a taste of his own medicine. Henry's cat saw his opportunity and shot his chair over to Chris Rabbit, who quickly released him. But Count Rumbarbar, who couldn't see where he was going, accidentally knocked the lever that switched on the monster machine. The monster sat up. It was not in a very good mood. It had been programmed to frighten people with hiccups. So when it saw Count Rumbarbar with hiccups, it knew what it had to do. The monster shook the Count so hard, his keys fell out. Henry's cat snatched them and released Chris Rabbit. Of course, the monster soon frightened the hiccups out of Count Rumbarbar and put him in the rubbish bin. Then he went off to look for more hiccuping people. Henry's cat and Chris Rabbit put Count Rumbarbar in his own cage. I suppose we could say he was out for the count, said Henry's cat. Here, come and have a look at this lot over here, said Chris Rabbit. They found lots of food and drink made from jumping beans. They also unearthed the secret plans of the evil count. Everybody knows that fright will cure hiccups. He intended to sell so much hiccup food that everyone would get hiccups. No one would be able to work or talk properly, and the world would soon come to a standstill. Good evening. Due to the outbreak of hiccups, the Prime Minister has called a national emergency. Count Rumbarbar then planned to open a hiccup cure centre. Customers would be charged $10 a cure. They would be told to stand in front of a cupboard. The patient would be cured of hiccups instantly, and Count Rumbarbar would become rich and famous. However, his evil plan had been frustrated thanks to bravery and bubblegum. Henry's cat and Chris Rabbit were both given chocolate medals, which they could eat there or take away. And they were seen on TV blowing bubble gum in different shapes and colours. Count Rumbarbar was sent to jail for life again, and that included lunch breaks and holidays. Henry's cat summed it all up by saying, "Ah, well, he may have been a count, but his number's up now." Henry's cat was watching advertisements on television. The first one he saw was for Tasty Paste.
Eat your rubbish, there's no waste, just sprinkle it with Tasty Paste.
Ow, what a brilliant idea, thought Henry's cat, and wondered why no one had thought of it before. The next advertisement was for a washing powder. This is new Wishy Washy, with added hyperactivated decalcified paratrioxy bicarbonate of soda, as used by spacemen, film stars, dog trainers, and lavatory attendants. We will now test it along with Brand X on 2 identical and otherwise similar shirts covered in certified dirt, grease, and grime. Here is Brand X shirt. It is even dirtier, torn, ripped, and inside out. But with Wishy Washy, the shirt is super clean. Buttons replaced, ironed, and packed ready to wear, with added underarm deodorant supplied absolutely free. And that's not all, folks. Collect the labels from 3 packets and you get a signed photograph of Shakespeare, a matched pair of reversible plasticine earrings, a left-handed screwdriver, a wind-up reciprocating toy rabbit with accompanying wind-up carrot, 2 tickets to Alaska in the off-season, a rubber corkscrew, and a large pack of second-hand tea bags. So hurry, hurry while stocks last.
Wish away your wash-day troubles with magic, wishy-washy bubbles. It only takes you half the time to banish dirt and grease and grime.
Henry's cat thought that was a very good advertisement, especially the song that went with it. Well, at that moment, Chris Rabbit arrived. Henry's cat asked Chris how they did the songs for the advertisements. Oh, it's easy! It's easy! You have to think up words that rhyme. For example, if I was writing a song for soap, our soap is very soapy, and if you don't buy it, then you're dopey. Oh, I'm sure that would sell lots of soap. You should take it up and make a lot of money, said Henry's cat. I think I will! I think I will! You can be my manager, said Chris. It seemed a very exciting idea. Henry's cat then went home and wrote down all the names of the television companies and sent them all letters which said, "Oh, dear sir or madam, my client, Chris Rabbit, is very good at jingles. Please send us lots of jobs. Yours very jingly, Henry's cat." Well, the very next day, Henry's cat got a reply saying, "Dear Henry's cat, we sell penknives for Boy Scouts. Could you do a nice jingle for us? Yours in anticipation, Cyril Chipper." They immediately got on their bike and went off and met Mr. Chipper himself. "Oh, hello, I'm Henry's cat, and this is Chris Rabbit, jingle writer extraordinaire. Hey, I'm glad to meet you, I'm sure. We've been having very bad time with our penknives, we have. Do you think you could sell them for us?" "Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Leave it to me! Just leave it to me!" Well, Mr. Chipper was convinced. He gave them a bag of chocolate buttons on account and booked a TV studio for them. A few days later, Henry's cat and Chris Rabbit sat down to watch their television advert.
They laughed when I sat down to play, but their laughter soon turned to amazement when I smashed up their piano with this chopper. It was all with the help of this, which is not only a proper chopper, but a supersonic Boy Scout's penknife. You just hold it and unfold it. It's a hammer and a spanner you can use in any manner. It's a knife and a fork and a thing for pulling corks, and it cuts and it saws and it even opens doors. It's for scraping and for filing and for doing bathroom tiling, and it opens tin tomatoes. Pointed thing, of course, is most useful for a horse if you want to get a knife that will last you all your life. Chipper is a ripper, and it's better than a wife.
Well, Henry's cat and Chris Rabbit thought that was very good. And so did Mr. Chipper, who turned up the next day with 2 large bags of jelly beans as a bonus. "Hey, do you know, we now have orders for over 27 million penknives due to your jingle. By gum, it were gradely." Mr. Chipper then showed them photos of people from all over the world who had bought his penknives. Yes, even a Boy Scout had bought one. Henry's cat and Chris Rabbit were absolutely thrilled. Lots of letters with jobs came in. They spent all morning reading them. "Oh, here's a good one," said Henry's cat. "It's to advertise reversible socks. They are useful for dog hats and hockey stick protectors, and are very good as saxophone quietners, and can also be used for disguising submarine periscopes in enemy territory." "Oh, listen to this, listen to this. Dear sir, I am a schoolmaster. I want a jingle to advertise what a nice place school is. Please come immediately, if not sooner. Professor Bagworthy." They met Professor Bagworthy, who said, "Oh, yes, it's a very bad situation. Children don't want to come to school in the first place. And when they do come, they don't want to learn anything. I just don't know what to do about it." Oh, don't worry. Leave it to him." "Yeah, don't worry. Leave it to me. Leave it to me," said Chris Rabbit. "I'll fix it up in no time." Then Henry's cat and Chris Rabbit hurried home to work something out. They thought and thought about it. "I've got an idea. Why don't we just say school is nice?
School is lovely, a lovely place to be. It's just right for boys and girls, especially you and me.
We all like to go there and learn to read and write. We never play truant or want to start a fight. We love to do our homework, we never get enough. Especially mathematics, it really is for stuff.
History and computers is better than cream cake. And physics is so lovely, it keeps me wide awake.
School is really very nice. 7 days a week would make it paradise. No, there's nothing like it, I make an awful fuss. But if you go to school, you will be a genius.
Philosophy is perfect for learning how to think. And chemistry is marvellous for making things extinct.
And when you finish learning how to make a pong, you can take the morning off till more lessons come along.
School is heaven, the nicest place on earth. Everyone should go there and do it all its worth.
Never will be clever or be a great success unless you go to school and do your very best.
Aren't you there now? School is very, very nice. 7 days a week would make it paradise. We know that some don't like it and make an awful fuss. But if you go to school, you will be a genius. A genius. Well, they were such a success that children everywhere just couldn't get to school fast enough. Professor Bagworthy was so pleased that he gave them special diplomas. For your services to education, I am proud to present you with these diplomas. You are both now honorary doctors of Jingles. It was a very great honour indeed. Henry's cat and Chris Rabbit thought that perhaps they should retire early. But just at that moment, Constable Bulldog came along and said,
Hello. Are you the aforesaid and hereafter Henry's cat and Chris Rabbit?
"Oh, yes, Constable. Have we been doing something wrong?"
No. In fact, I have a letter here from the Prime Minister herself saying, Dear Police Force, if you can't stop crime, please get Henry's cat and Chris Rabbit to help out. Yours lawfully, the Prime Minister. Well, what a surprise. This was a very big job. They had to think up a really good idea on this one.
Oh, I think I've got a really good idea.
Oh, what is it?
Why don't we have a national no crime day so all the criminals can have a holiday?
Oh, that's very good.
Hello. Now I'm a bobby on the beat. You can tell by my pointed head and the size of my flat feet as I walk around the street.
Now I'm a naughty rabbit. If I see something nice, I grab it. No, it's not because I want it or it's got my name upon it. No, it's just a naughty habit.
Oh, hello there. What's all this here? Here, in that bag? There.
Oh, just a few things I've knocked off, like a TV set, a fishing net, a lovely chiming clock, a string of pearls, some walnut wells and a Scotsman's woolly sock, a set of tools, some plastic jewels and a worn-out pair of jeans, a new guitar, some bits of car and one large case of beans. My name is Bill the Burglar, and I'm a naughty thief. The things I steal astounding, like some things to get around in. Oh, it's quite beyond belief. Don't leave your doors ajar, so I'm likely to be tempted. You'll You're safe, your house, your car won't be taken very far, but you'll find that they get emptied. A fountain pen, a speckled hen, some vouchers for a luncheon, and here's the best swag in my bag, a whistle and a truncheon.
Your work is your vocation, but I really think it's time you took a nice vacation away from all this crime. I've got the very place for you to go on holiday, with food and board and lots to do to show that crime don't pay. So everyone who's naughty or wants to misbehave, remember you'll get caught just like every other knave. So mend your ways right now and just take my advice, 'cause everyone will love you if you stay very nice.
Well, it was a very good advertisement for No Crime Day. In fact, it was too good. On the news that night, they announced that no crimes had been committed at all anywhere. The chief of police came on television and said that he'd given all his policemen the day off. But there was soon another problem. Judges, jailers and people who sold locks and burglar alarms, people who sold insurances and security things, and people who checked identity cards and that sort of thing, in fact, all people who earned their livings from crime were now all out of work. But the chief of police had it all worked out. He got them jobs in amusement parks, didn't he? Well, they like working with children much better than working with criminals. Oh, well, they always say crime doesn't pay, said Henry's cat. Oh, it does if you write jingles about it. It does if you write jingles about it, said Chris.
Henry, Henry, you must know Henry's cat.
You must have seen the movie, you must have read the book. He's a mellow yellow feline, so take a second look. He knows everything about nothing, and not too much about that. So if you know someone who knows what he knows, then you must know Henry's cat. Then you must know Henry's cat.